Shannon, do you agree with this comparison here?
Skip, I'm not ready to say that. I think the thing is that because, like Jenny and the Reed, Skip, we grew up with Bird and Magic. We saw them play in college, and the other had to go through the other to win the ultimate prize. They're a lot closer. And, Skip, what is this? Once the NBA tell me what this game was that we just witnessed on Wednesday night.
You won't give this up, will you?
Because I don't know. Skip, they didn't hype regular season matchups between Bird and Magic. Now, they did play twice a year. Once on the, once in LA, obviously once in Boston. They didn't hype it.
Nope.
It was only the finals, and that was the only time that they really met. That was the only time. But the thing that was so incredible about this, they always had comparable teams. It was never like, oh, man, the Lakers about to run away with this thing. There was always Bird, McHale, Parrish. You always had Magic, Kareem, Worthy. Then you had DJ. You had Michael Cooper. So, Skip, the teams were really, really comparable. That's why there was like a lot of the games with 6 or 7 games, and it was so highly contested. And the thing was, Skip, is that at that time in the 80s, they were really thought of as the 2 best players. Mm-hmm. So are you saying that in this generation that Steph Curry and LeBron are the 2 best players? I think you're going to get some pushback because you said there's another guy that's the best player in this generation. So
and they went all the way to the Hamptons to recruit that guy. Did they not? To say, please come save us?
How did they know he was in the Hamptons? How did they know where he was? He told them he wanted to go because he needed them as much as they needed them.
No, they recruited him. They went across the country. What did you tell me? Draymond fled into the parking lot after Game 7 and was crying.
He didn't wait to get to the car to cry.
Yep.
He cried in the parking lot. Hey, leave Red cried in the car. Cried in the parking lot.
Yep.
He ought to be ashamed of himself.
And he called KD and said, please come save us.
He called him K.
Yeah.
Hey, Draymond, what you crying for? You just played it. He got me. He got him.
And KD saved them with back-to-back finals MVPs with extraordinary game 3s in LeBron's house back-to-back.
Oh, I know that you won't say game winning. Because you say game winning, that means what he did the other night was a game winning shot.
Okay, that's all you got. Okay, back to this premise. It just doesn't work for me. In fact, it offends me because what those 2 on the left did for this league.
It saved the league.
It just saved the league.
It did.
It put it back on the map.
It did.
It was a lot of tape-delayed games on Friday nights where you couldn't even watch them live.
The finals were tape delayed until Magic. After Magic's first year championship, the games started being up until then. They were tape delayed.
I was there in 1979 at the NCAA finals in Salt Lake City, and it revolutionized college basketball, because you had a beloved young black star who was going to wind up in L.A. living large with the Lakers, Showtime.
Yep.
And you had a not-so-lovable white guy from French Lick, Indiana, who had bolted on Bobby Knight, and he'd had one incident after the other in college basketball for Indiana State. He decked a fan who ran onto the court after they beat Arkansas earlier in the regional final. And he was a tough guy, but he wasn't a nice guy.
He did the same thing when the fans ran on the court in Boston. They celebrate. You watch him. He forearm shivered somebody.
He did. So he was a bad you-know-what. But those 2 guys came to love each other, legit love each other.
Yes.
And so it was a beautiful story, and they did it on Broadway. They did a Broadway play called Magic Bird, and I went to it, and it was great because what happened between those 2 was great. And you did have a black-white dynamic that drove it. It was just...
And you 2 franchises, Skip, that basically...
L.A., Boston.
They had played each other.
Lakers, Celtics. You can't beat it.
You couldn't.
You can't. I couldn't make it up better than it was made up. And they were on equal footing because they were both legends in their own time.
Yes.
And it was mano a mano, back and forth, and one would win and the other would win. MVP and then MVP.
Right.
Champ.
Right.
Back and forth. And I'm sorry, Steph, to me, is not on LeBron's level as a winner. You know, he hasn't done that. And too many times Steph has come up even smaller than he is in huge moments in finals.
But the current thing is, Skip, and I see a lot of this, Skip, they're the only 2 guys with multiple MVPs and multiple titles.
Okay.
Nobody else can boast that. KD has multiple titles but doesn't have multiple MVPs. No. Giannis has multiple MVPs with no titles. Kawhi has multiple titles with no MVPs. Bird and Magic Skip, both of them won 3 MVPs, regular season MVPs. Magic has 5 titles, Bird has 3. So when you say they were very, very comparable, they were on level playing fields, they really were on level playing fields.
Okay. So Steph doesn't yet have a finals MVP.
Correct.
Not sure he'll ever get one. But again, in your 2016 finals, they're up 3 games to 1. And just, I dare you to go look at games 4, 5, and 6 because Steph shot his team in the foot. He has revolutionized this game with his shooting prowess from distance.
Right.
I give you that. But then look at games 4 and 6 against Toronto in 2019 finals. Steph failed miserably in 2 big home games that could have made that a better series than it was. I realize Clay got hurt and KD was obviously gone.
And the thing is, Skip, is that Steph's team has always had more firepower than LeBron's. Because if you think about it, the first time they played, Kyrie got hurt in overtime and Kevin Love didn't play at all. So now basically you got LeBron, Dellavedova, and Timofey Mozgov going against Steph, Clay, and Draymond. And then the next year they win it, and then the following year they go out and get KD.
Okay.
So LeBron is, for the most part, and it's just like this last game, LeBron had the better team.
No, I
But the Lakers, Magic and Bird, Magic could never say, man, we should be way favored. We should sweep them. That wasn't happening. And Bird was like, oh, we should sweep them. That wasn't happening because they were so comparable, not only in size and stature and play, but team. But so I can't go there, Skip. I can't.
Thank you.
I can't.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.